The coffee was still steaming when the sheriff pounded on my door, three sharp bangs that shattered the morning calm, rattling me awake. Before I'd even had the chance to finish sketching the deck, I was planning for the land my grandfather left me. Picture this: 1 minute you're dreaming about building a little slice of paradise, the next you've got the law at your door, and a Karen with a smile sharp enough to cut glass just waiting for you to slip. I swear the HOA around here doesn't wait for you to step out of line. They build the line around you overnight and dare you to cross it. I opened the door, still clutching my mug like a life preserver, and found myself looking at two guys who could have walked straight off the set of a bad cop show. The taller one, mustache and all chest, puffed out like a cartoon sheriff. "Are you Marcus Carter?" he barked. And even though I knew I hadn't done anything, I got that feeling in the pit of my stomach like I'd been called into the principal's office and forgotten why. "Yes, that's me," I managed, hoping my voice sounded steadier than it felt. "Is there a problem, officers?" But something about the way they stood there, the way the shorter one shuffled from foot to foot, threw me off. And then I noticed the guy wasn't wearing cop boots. He had on cheap foam beach sandals, the kind you pick up at a gas station with a hot dog and regret. "Sir, you're under arrest for criminal trespassing," Mustache Man declared, pulling out what looked suspiciously like toy handcuffs. And that's when she emerged right on cue, Beverly Thornfield, HOA president, arms crossed, smile too wide, hair so perfectly sprayed it looked bulletproof. Clipboard in hand, marching over like she owned the whole world, or at least my tiny piece of it. "Good morning," she said, like she was blessing me with the presence of royalty. "I'm Beverly Thornfield, current president of the Pine Lake Estates Homeowners Association." These gentlemen are absolutely correct. She taps her clipboard with a diamond the size of my self-respect. "This cabin violates 47 separate HOA regulations, and your renovation plans constitute unauthorized modification of community property. Now, I don't know about you, but I thought buying a house meant you owned the house." Apparently, Beverly thought otherwise. I held up my mug like a shield and said, "Community property, ma'am. With all due respect, I bought this place fair and square. I have the deed right here." My voice was getting louder, but I couldn't help it. 15 years of saving, eating ramen, skipping vacations, just to stand here and get told I was trespassing in my own home. She smiled that shark smile. "Mr. Carter, it's not quite that simple. You bought into a community with standards and rules." She flipped through her papers. "According to HOA subsection 12.7, all modifications must be approved 60 days in advance." I stared at her, then the officers, then her clipboard, which seemed to grow thicker by the second. "I haven't started anything yet. I'm just planning." "Planning without a permit is itself a violation," Beverly purred like she'd rehearsed it 1,000 times. Then she started talking about the previous owner, Walter Himmel, and how he'd failed to disclose all these so-called restrictions. That's when I noticed Mrs. Peterson next door, watering can in hand, eavesdropping without even pretending to water her petunias. "I'm not surrendering anything," I said, voice firmer than I felt. "This is my home. Unless you have actual legal authority, I'm going to have to ask all of you to leave." That's when Beverly's face shifted a tiny crack in the mask. She tried to recover, lowering her voice. "Mr. Carter, you don't understand the resources at our disposal." And then I saw it. The badge on Mustache Man's chest, glinting in the morning sun, looked like the kind you buy at a party store. The beach sandals, the clipboard, the precise timing, the way Beverly kept calling herself current president like she was trying to convince herself as much as us. I retreated inside and grabbed every document I had, deed, mortgage, you name it. "Here," I said, shoving the deed in Beverly's face. "This is a legally binding document. I bought this cabin from Walter. It's official." Beverly examined it, humming and squinting before pulling out what looked like a blue leather phone book. "This," she announced, "is the Pine Lake Estates HOA Regulations Manual, 847 pages. "Are you serious?" I blurted. "Nobody reads 800 pages of HOA rules." But she was dead serious, quoting obscure codes about color palettes, native plants, dock maintenance. The fake cop shifted again, clearly ready to bolt. I'd had enough. Can I see identification? I asked the officers. The mustached one stammered. We're, undercover. Yeah, undercover in beach sandals. I'd seen better performances in high school plays. Beverly pulled out a voluntary surrender agreement, waving it like a prize. Sign this and we'll help you relocate. We'll even pay your moving costs. I almost laughed. 15 years of saving, and now I was supposed to walk away because the Queen of Clipboard said so. No way, I said. I'm not signing anything. I'm not leaving. And I'm sure not scared of your Halloween police. I've always avoided conflict. My dad used to say, keep your head down, don't make waves. But right then I realized I had to push back. Show me your president badge, I said to Beverly. She hesitated. It's being updated. The officer shifted. Beverly's face lost its color, and I told them all to leave. Now! They slunk off, Beverly whispering furiously, and as they disappeared I felt a weight lift, but not for long. I called Walter, the previous owner. Has Beverly shown up yet? He asked, voice trembling. When I told him what happened, he sighed. I should have warned you. Beverly's my ex-wife. That hit me like a cold shower. She introduced herself as the president with manuals and forms. She was president until she started inventing rules, fining people for things that weren't in the bylaws, turning the neighborhood against itself. The board finally caught her skimming money. We voted her out 6 months ago, but she kept all the documents, refused to return anything. So why didn't you tell me? I demanded. I thought she was gone. I didn't think she'd come after you. But listen, I'll send you the paperwork. Meeting minutes, certified letters, proof she's not president. My phone pinged. Walter had emailed everything stamped, minutes, signed, votes. Legal docs. Beverly was out, period. Walter, those cops, were they real? I asked. He hesitated. Beverly's been creative before. She hired private investigators during our divorce. She's not above breaking the law if she thinks it helps, but impersonating cops, that's a felony. My mind raced. This was bigger than HOA drama. I recorded everything, took pictures, and started prepping for a fight. That's when Beverly called. I hit record. Mr. Carter, I hope you're reconsidering. It's best for everyone if you just walk away. I played along, faking defeat. Maybe you're right, Beverly. I'm not cut out for this. She suggested a ceremony at HOA, her version of a public shaming, a victory parade for her clipboard army. But this time I had backup. I called Mrs. Peterson. Turns out she used to take minutes at HOA meetings and had copies of every document Beverly wanted to hide. I'll bring them, she said. And I'll invite the real board. Jim Johnson, actual president, texted that he'd be there too. At 2:00, Beverly rolled up with her fan club and her fake cops, looking ready to crown herself queen. But half the crowd was there for the real HOA with documents in hand. I played my part, humble, ready to sign until Beverly started her speech. Then I stepped up and asked, "Can you show your official HOA credentials, Beverly?" She stammered, "My paperwork is being updated." Mrs. Peterson stepped in, reading from the board minutes. Beverly Thornfield was removed for financial misconduct. Certified letters sent, property not returned. Jim Johnson confirmed it. Beverly had zero authority, no right to issue violations, collect fees, or even be on my lawn. Beverly lost it, ranting about betrayal, about Walter, about money and mineral rights in the basement. The real police arrived thanks to Mrs. Peterson's call about impersonation. Beverly was arrested for fraud, harassment, and faking cops. The actors admitted everything. $300 for the day, didn't even know it was a crime. Jim Johnson apologized, fast-tracked my permits, and warned me, "You might want to check the basement." Beverly mentioned mineral rights. That nagging worry returned. What if there really was something down there? I called Walter, who confessed, "There's something I hid in the basement during the divorce. Beverly's old belongings, not gold or oil, just memories and documents." So the whole circus was about a storage box, 20 years of bitterness locked up in my basement. Walter brought the keys, apologizing for dragging me into a decades-old feud. When I finally opened the secret storage, I found photo albums, jewelry, and a box of court papers, nothing more. Mrs. Peterson confirmed county records show no secret fortune. Beverly was chasing ghosts. And as Beverly made bail and her lawyer called about her stuff, I realized this was never about rules or property values. It was about pride, old wounds, and the desperate need to control what was already lost. So if you ever find yourself up against a clipboard dictator and a couple of discount Halloween cops, remember sometimes all you need is a good neighbor, a little paperwork, and the nerve to call their bluff. Now, what do you think? Should I return Beverly's boxes or donate them to a yard sale for ex-HOA presidents in need of closure? Drop a comment, share your own HOA war stories, and don't forget, check those badges. Because out here, you never know who's knocking.